Yeah, 2 minutes past the hour. I think we can get started and we can have a chat about customer service and customer experience. So I'm going to follow my script so I don't get off.
Yeah, don't talk to
Yeah,
me about underwater basket weaving
no,
or
no. We're
yeah.
we're going to talk about the things that you're very
This is
familiar
all
and,
I know.
and passionate about, Shep. So very quickly, so welcome to everybody who's joining us. This is indeed our second Spotlight by Freshworks series on LinkedIn Live. We're going to be live together with you for the next 20 to 30 minutes. And this is an opportunity that we have to talk with experts, whether they're based at Freshworks, as I did last time around with our chief analyst relations lead, but also with thought leaders and influencers and experts in the market, such as Shep, who I'm meeting literally for the very first time as we speak. So as we get to know Shep together, this will be an exciting time for all of us. So for the next 20 minutes, I'll be your host. My name is Miguel Adao. I've been at Freshworks for about 14 months. And Shep, I've done my entire career in marketing. So I'm very passionate about the customer. I spent 10 years in South America with Procter & Gamble and Pepsi, so B2C. I then spent 10 years in Europe with Hewlett Packard. And the last year plus, riding this rocket ship of Freshworks. We have solutions for customer experience, which is the focus of today, IT service management, so more for internal use within employees of an organization called Freshservice. The first product is called Freshdesk. And then we have a Freshworks CRM solution for prospecting and sales and marketing organizations. But within the sphere of CX, which is really our linchpin. The company was called Freshdesk for many, many years.
I remember that for many
years.
Yep.
Yeah, before it evolved into Freshworks. But yeah, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your passions and your knowledge of this exciting space of CX.
Wow. Well, I've been doing this for many years. Back in 1983, I started my business probably right about the time you were born. So maybe even earlier than that. I don't know. But seriously, I started a long time ago and I loved customer service. And the reason is when I was a kid, I started my first business when I was 12 years old. And my parents taught me they didn't call it customer service. They said, make sure you send a thank you note to the customers that just paid you. Okay, great idea. Every customer got a thank you note. Today, it could be an email. It could be a phone call, a short little video, but it's always the type of thing that, hey, they paid you a lot of money. You better show appreciation. My dad made me call my clients and ask for feedback, which was really scary at first. But sometimes I got really, really good feedback. And so it was fun to learn. Now, I had no idea it was called customer service until later. I started reading in college what this was called. And it's like, I really like this. I worked at a gas station. It was so cold that day, probably the coldest day in the whole winter. And an old lady came out, and we're a self-service gas station back then, as most of them are today. And I went out and pumped the gas for her because I thought it was the right thing to do. My manager actually told me I should never do that again.
You're kidding.
I said, the lady's like 90 years old. It's the coldest day of the year. She deserves better service.
I bet she came back after that, though, didn't she?
Yeah, and that was the whole idea. He goes, well, now she's going to expect it every time. That's what he said. I said, that's great, because maybe she'll come here every time rather than the station directly across the street and the one opposite corner. There were three of us on one, intersection. So, but that's what I learned. I got into this business because I saw a couple of motivational type speakers. And I said, I could probably do that. That looks like I'm right out of college. What am I going to do? And I started my own business doing that.
Right out of college.
Yeah. Went to the bookstore, went to the business section, which was maybe this many books rather than racks and racks of this many books. And I bought In Search of Excellence by Tom Peters. I bought a book titled, let's see, At Your Service by Ron Zemke and Carl Albrecht.
You probably read Zig Ziglar. I remember Zig Ziglar, the name, just because it's such a cool name.
It was Zig Ziglar and Tom Hopkins were the two speakers that I saw working. And that's when I said, I can do that. I can. And I got to meet Zig a number of times.
Did you?
Same with Tom. And they really influenced my whole life. Because of them, I do what I do.
That's so cool. And you were telling me just in literally in the 2 minutes that we hopped on here before we went live, you have a book now coming out, right?
I have a few books. They're out, but I have a new book coming out, and I'm excited. This is the galley copy. It's a hardbound book. It's called I'll Be Back. I'll Be Back. How to get your customers to come back again and again. And I'll be back book.com. And even though it's not coming out for a while, if you buy it today or tomorrow, but buy it today, we will send you the ebook immediately at no charge. And if you go on Amazon, you'll see the book's $24.95. We will pay the ship. You buy it from us, we'll pay the shipping, we'll pay the tax. If it's international, it's a little bit more expensive for shipping, but we will send you the ebook, which I think is right at $15 at no charge immediately. So you'll get your customers right away to start saying, I'll be back. Hey, you know what? Terminate the competition.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk about that. So thanks for mentioning the book. I'll definitely check it out. But before we start with and I have a couple questions to ask you, so we have a little bit of structure. We can completely riff for the next 20 minutes. I'm sure we could even talk for the next 4 hours, Shep. But I just want to let you know, at the end of these small questions that I'm going to ask you, we're going to have what's called the rapid fire. And these are 15 questions that we ask you in 90 seconds. So if you don't know the answers, just tell me to move ahead. Okay. Some questions will be really easy because they're actually pertinent to your personal life. Nobody else will know, but you will. Some of them are more generic and random, and our folks in that helped put together this event had a lot of fun putting this together. So stick around, guys, for the rapid fire, because I think it'll be a lot of fun. But let's talk about customer experience. Let's talk about the whole customer support and CX space. So just tell us a little bit about repeat customers. They're the hallmark in this topical, because your title is I'll Be Back.
Well, I mean,
right?
How do you get customers to come back again and again?
How do you get them to come back?
Right. So the first thing I want to do is people often confuse repeat business with loyal business. And there's a big difference. And by the way, the first step to getting a loyal customer is to get them to come back the first time, and the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, right? So you want repeat business, but don't be confused. Miguel, you've been in marketing for how long? How many years?
25 plus.
25 plus years. And a lot of times when you see a company put together a loyalty program, it's actually a marketing program. Who does the loyalty programs? The marketing department. And the goal of a loyalty program is to get customers to come back. And let's just use frequent flyer miles as an example. That's a great, what they call a loyalty program. It's a membership program, if you want to think about it, because once you subscribe to that program, you're going to get points and perks for how often you fly. Now, my question is, if that airline were to take away those points and those free upgrades or whatever, would you still fly on that airline? And if the answer is yes, you don't have a repeat customer, you have a loyal customer. If I give you a little punch card every time you come to my restaurant, I punch the thing, and if I stop giving out that punch card, would you still come back to my restaurant? So that's the difference between marketing programs and true loyalty. Loyalty programs would be, what can I do to create a connection with my customer that is so deep that they wouldn't consider going anywhere else? And it's not about the points, it's about the way they're treated. Right. There's usually an emotional connection beyond just the perks. And by the way, I want to make it real clear. Repeat customers are gold. Okay.
Right.
Loyal customers are sacred. We want gold. Gold. There's nothing wrong with gold. It's just, let's try to take it to another level.
That's such an interesting nuance. I hadn't really thought about that differentiation. And you're right. There are certain airlines or restaurants or mini golf courses that I attend because I get the punch card and I get that free extra discount or extra ticket just by having that.
Right.
But there are many other places that I go to religiously, regardless of what they're giving me in that kind of membership point accrual, et cetera, just because of the relationship and how I feel treated.
So now we know you're a golfer. We know you live in Southern California near, Del Mar, which we know south of Del Mar is La Jolla. There's Torrey Pines. There's probably no loyalty program for the Torrey Pines golf course. But how often do you like to go to Torrey Pines?
All the time. It's just such an experience. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. And so as I'm thinking about this differentiation between loyalty and repeat, What are some of the important criteria then? And you've alluded to some of them, but can you just maybe elaborate a bit more?
Sure. And in general, and I realize a lot of the people who are tied into what we do are tied into it from the customer support angle and creating a great experience on that side. But let's just talk about it. I mean, every stat and fact that you look at says that if you create a better experience customer service wise, you're going to get your customers to come back more likely than if you didn't. And as a matter of fact, if you go the other direction and give them poor service, they're very quick to leave you. I mean, I've got my own studies. I was reading another wonderful study today that just keeps confirming those numbers. The better you take care of your customers, the more likely they are to come back. Repeat customers, or people that feel they got good customer service, let's go there, customer service, are likely to come back and will spend more money. 60% of those customers will spend more money if it's good service. If it's convenient service, meaning it's an easy way, like in the support world, phone number on every page of the website. Once I get through, I don't have to wait on hold for 30 minutes. I get right in. There's a quick authentication. It doesn't take much for me to start my process of getting my problem. And, if I can give them good service, 69% of those, or 68 point something percent of those customers will spend more money to get that service. Now, unrelated to that type of service, if you include delivery as part of that service offering, that's convenience. Okay, so you've got regular service, make it convenient to the customer, and add delivery in there. It's like almost 90% approximately. And
Wow.
If you think about what happened before the pandemic, I used to order food from restaurants. They would deliver it free of charge prior to the pandemic. All of a sudden, there's this pandemic, and all these other restaurants, grocery stores, they're starting to charge for delivery. Well, what are those restaurants who used to charge me nothing? They're now charging. But you know what? Not a problem. Happy to pay for that convenience, and that convenience is in the form of delivery. But in the support world, if you think about what convenience is, I can get through to you without having to wait. Or if I do have to wait, you're going to tell me how long it's going to be and give me the choice of waiting or being called back at the end of that wait time. Or even better, I can type in on the keypad when I'm available and put the time in, and they will call me back at that particular time. I mean, that's convenience, right? And as far as using self-service options, digital options like chat bots and a great knowledge base and even video tutorials, that's all digital. And a lot of times we're teaching our customers to go digital first. And then if you don't find what you want, flip over to the human to human interaction. And by the way, when you do flip to the human to human interaction, you want it to be smooth, seamless, and ideally that agent can see that I was on, the website, and I was trying to fill out a form and I got stuck. So I had to call the agent. The agent, once they, verify it's me. Hey, I noticed you were on our website and you got stuck at question number 5. Is that why you're calling?
That's really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and that's the true version of omni-channel, of, creating that seamless experience where it doesn't matter what channel you're coming into me on. I'm able to take care of it. And as we switch from channel to channel, if necessary, it just picks up where it left off.
And this is where Freshworks with Freshdesk, our CX solution, we are offering that omni-channel. We got the AI, the chat bots, we got the fresh caller, the fresh chat piece. And you're right. The pandemic has been awful for the economy, for people's lives and livelihoods. And it feels like we're finally coming out of it. And hopefully by late summer, there'll be a semblance of normalcy, but in many ways, it's accelerated. We certainly see at Freshworks. I'm sure you see it in the companies you consult with, and just in your conversations with experts in the field. It's really accelerated this movement towards a much more omni-channel kind of approach. So companies really need to step up. Could you maybe talk a little bit about how you think the pandemic has maybe made some changes, which will become secular transformations?
You just used the perfect word to describe it. You said accelerated.
Right.
A lot of companies that I talk to say, well, we've had to innovate in order to manage our way through the pandemic. And I go, well, what did you do that wasn't ever available before? And they scratch their heads and they don't know, because the answer is there wasn't anything new after March, let's call it March 13th of last year.
That's when I stopped going to
it was like that was where most of the country here in the US and a lot of the world went into lockdown, right? Or everything changed at that point. What happened is we adapted and adopted existing technology. It also accelerated the use of that technology. Had there not been a pandemic over the last year, my prediction would be in 3 years from the beginning of the pandemic, 3 to 5 years from last March, we would be using the same technologies that we're now using as a result of pushing us to where we are now. And I also believe, it didn't take a pandemic to do it. It's what would become expected.
And it's amazing. I'm just looking here. Some questions are coming in. I'm going to ask them. These are questions from the audience that our folks are passing them over to our private channel. But before we go there, and this has been a very fast moving 20 minutes, but let's go through are you ready, Shep? 90 seconds on the clock. And you have
so before Q&A. All right, I got to go
before the Q&A. Before
my glasses, I got a glass of water.
So you just kind of jump in and say the first thing that comes to your mind. If you are paralyzed, just tell me to move to the next one.
Okay.
But the first question is easy, and I hope Dawal, we're counting down from 90 seconds. Stories from Shep. So these are actually stories from you. Frank, the cab driver from Dallas, turned a moment of misery into a moment of magic. What shocked you 4 days after that encounter? What happened?
My cab driver sent a thank you note.
Your cab driver sent you a thank you note.
It's in a frame on my wall here. Unbelievable.
Amazing. Tell me more after the rapid fire. Number 2, this happened to you as well. Jeffrey from the Hayes Hardware store treated one of his customers like his own grandmother when buying a Christmas tree. What did Jeffrey do?
Jeffrey actually took the Christmas tree to this elderly woman's home, and it became a ritual every year.
Is that right? That's amazing. And probably decorated the tree for her.
He did. He did. That was part of the deal.
The lady is always going to be an Ace customer, repeat, loyal customer. Next section, CS, customer support vocabulary. What does CSM stand for?
CSM, customer service management.
Correct. There's multiple answers. It could be support or service or success, but you were right. Customer service manager. This is like putting you on the spot, right? Live, we're asking you all these questions. What does AHT stand for? AHT.
AHT.
In the customer support world.
Average handle time.
Correct. Name the company. This could be a touch and go here.
General Motors.
No.
AT&T.
You have to listen to the question.
Facebook, I didn't know.
Facebook recently acquired this customer service company for $1 billion.
Oh, geez. I know this. Pass.
Okay, I'll tell you later.
We'll come back.
Trading app, we'll come back to that. This trading app recently became famous and was grilled in Congress for not having adequate support. A trading app?
Or
trading like stock trading. Remember they went to Congress?
GameStop.
No, Robinhood, but okay.
Oh, Robinhood. I love Robinhood. I use Robinhood.
A customer had to reach out to ABC News to stop this food delivery company from sending her messages and calls meant to a delivery person. I didn't know about this story.
I don't even know about this.
Okay. It was DoorDash. Yeah.
DoorDash.
Close.
I meant DoorDash.
This one is a easy one, Shep. The Danish toy production company, famous for its amazing customer service.
Lego.
Yes. True or false? Rapid fire. Is it true that technical support staff at an Apple retail store is called an Apple genius?
True.
It is true. Is it true or false? The Xerox Way is a best-selling novel for customer experience excellence written by Robert Spector.
Wrong. False.
It's false.
Nordstrom Way.
Nordstrom, the big retailer. Guess the person. Which CX expert? You might know this guy. I didn't. Which CX expert wrote the famous book, Be Your Customer's Hero?
Oh, wow. I wish it were me, but it's not.
No. Do you know Adam Toporek?
Oh, Adam's my buddy. How could I not know that? Adam's my friend.
Okay. Dawal is screaming at me here saying, time's up, time's up. Okay. But that was not bad. I don't know, Dawal. Do we have a leaderboard that we want to share? I think Shep did pretty well under the circumstances.
I don't think he asked the questions fast enough. He kept commenting. I should get another 30 seconds.
That's true. 7 out of 11. That's not bad.
Did we ask 11 questions?
We did. That's a strong C. That's really good. Oh, you're highest. You're leading the leaderboard. That's the good news.
Great.
The bad news is there's only one other person on the leaderboard, but you're ahead. You're ahead. All right. So let's go to a couple questions we got here. So Shep, how do we improve the CX for legacy customers? Say already they're a repeat customer, but how do you make them stay even longer and provide even better and differentiated options?
I believe it's a lot of good marketing and personalized interaction through that marketing. I mean, today it's very easy to customize and personalize based on the, personas or buckets that you put your customers in. So Nike does a great job. Just to give you an example, they will send marketing messages. And by the way, marketing message that doesn't mean buy this, buy this, buy this. It means, hey, you might be interested in hearing about the latest technology inside a shoe that we've created. And it's like, this is fascinating, but it's not necessarily a sales pitch. It's informative. But if I buy running shoes, I would love that. But if I buy, bowling shoes or golf shoes, if Nike, I'm buying Nike golf shoes, I'm probably not as interested in the running technology. So don't send me information on golf shoes. They're so good at putting their different customers into these buckets so they can feel like the messages are coming personalized. That's one way. And if you get them on the support world, well, you should have, this is what you guys do at Freshworks. The client or the customer's name, their all of their buying patterns, their history, it's right there. And if I'm a good rep, I'm going to say, well, thank you, Miguel. You've been a customer for us for, almost 4 years now. And wow, I'm looking at your record here. You've got 16 of our whatever it is that we sell. Thank you so much. So how can I help you today? And already I've endeared myself to you because I've taken a moment to know who you are.
Really, really interesting.
And it's an emotional connection. That's what's going to bring you back, is you feel like, oh, I have someone on the inside. They know me.
That's what it's all about. Hey, Shep, we are out of time. I loved it.
Already?
I love your passion. Yes, it was a quick 20-minute spotlight by Freshworks with Shep Hyken, LinkedIn live session. But I have a feeling you and I should maybe start a weekly podcast or something. I think this thing's got legs. We can next time you could ask me some rapid fire questions as well. I will not score as high as you did, but it was really nice meeting you and having this conversation with you around CX and repeat and loyal customers. And good luck with your new book. I'll be back. I'll definitely get a copy of that book. And I appreciate your time today, Shep.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me on the show.
And thank you all for listening in. Take care. Bye-bye.